There we go. We're back. We're back. Well, OBS is back. My sanity is not. Okay. I don't know where it cut out. But I'm just going to cut my story short here. I get exhausted and really itching to do something else. Like, my attention span does not last very long. So when I do a survival mission with somebody, I get tired and want to leave at 15 minutes. 10 to 15. Sometimes at simply 5 minutes, because it's not really something I want to be doing. If it's one of those event things, like Gift of the Lotus, I will happily do a survival mission for 20 to 25 minutes. I'm fine with that. All in all, once that's said and done, I don't want to do another survival mission for the rest of the day. Because all it is immense stress of making sure that your life support is maxed out, making sure that your energy is topped off, and making sure you have enough ammo. And not only that, making sure that the enemies are actually dropping life support like they're supposed to. Hello, Marcin. I can't say that name. I am kind of frustrated right now. We're having technical difficulties with Rev again. So he has gone to restart his computer, and it's taking a while. I am over here kind of losing my mind having to host the show on my own when half of the topics I don't actually know, and the other half I know, but I need Rev to be here. So I'm only picking some stuff out of the dev stream topic that I can actually talk about. Now right now we're on solar play or extraction, which is still really weird and a mouthful to say. But I don't mind playing a survival mission with my friends. It's just after a while I want to leave. I want to do something else on my own, like a spy mission, because I love doing spy missions, especially by myself, because then I don't have to stress about one of my friends bringing an unsilenced weapon and just triggering in the alarms because they want to kill everything in the room, and that they're not stealthy, and also that they're not taking their time. Spy missions are great. If you have a Loki so you can do the spy missions fast, that's fine. Do that on your own time. Don't do that with me, because I like to take spy missions rather slow. I like to take my time with them. Wow. That is... wow. But with the solo extraction, it also means that players who are really, really needing a certain rotation in a mission can stay around longer, while those who have... I almost said hi, Hunter. That's the name of my cousin. While those who have the strength to keep going, they can do that. But those who don't, like myself, can leave because they want to do something else. So I think this is a great idea. Another story I have about the player extraction thing. I once did a mission a long time ago, in this case it's last year. Yeah. Last year, when I started getting back into Warframe again, I did a capture mission with my mag, because that was the only Warframe other than Frost Prime that I had. I spawned in one of those crashed Corpus ships on an icy planet. I found the capture target. I captured them, triggered a bursa, not strong enough to kill a Bursa yet. The map did not spawn an extraction room. Like, the weirdest thing ever, I knew that the extraction was above me, but there was no way to get there. It was the weirdest glitch ever, and I hate that glitch. I am so glad I've never run into another one. But there was no extraction point, and I needed to extract. Because I had a lot of goods, I had leveled up my mag pretty good. But the problem is, I was running out of ammo, I did not have enough energy, I didn't even have a child yet, like void children yet. And I had a Bursa on my ass the entire damn time. So after a while, I got frustrated and I had to abort mission. Yeah, that capture mission was an alert. I couldn't try it again because it was already gone. What would have been great is if I could just stop somewhere and trigger extraction on my own. Hello. You missed it. I had such a nosebleed, it actually got onto my hoodie.
Oh, jeez, that sounds terrible.
Yeah, so I've been doing a majority of like this solo commentary with a tissue shoved up my nose. I've already gone over all the topics, but I'm just picking out of DevStream. Because that's the only one I actually know.
All right, fair enough. So yeah, I'm back. Hi.
Hello. You might glitch out quite a few times. I've just kind of given up on life now. My nose has stopped bleeding, but I can tell that if I tilt my head down, I'm gonna gush.
Oh no, my nose.
I don't know what's happening. I don't know why it's happening.
Radiation.
That, or I am remembering how I died in another dimension.
And this is how I died. Oh man, that's terrible.
Watch, I'm gonna die because I got baptized by like multiple clones of my daughter. That's a reference.
Oh no! You know what's horrible? You say that whole dimensional shit. Oh, I'll talk about that another time. Because again, it's going back to that. It's going back to Chris and that whole bullshit thing he's doing. Actually, have you ever heard of that?
What?
By any chance? Okay, remember the guy we talked about 2 weeks ago? The one we mentioned that Tara Strong said he was a horrible human being.
Yeah.
Yeah, he. I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but he thinks that the dimensions are going to merge. And we're going to see like cartoon characters and our own original creations and this insanity like that.
Oh, there we go again. I tilted forward.
Oh no.
Only this time, like, you know when you accidentally sniff in water? You know that sensation of like the back of your throat? Yeah, I'm getting that right now. I think it's going backwards.
Ugh.
So, I'm gonna deal with this. But hey, you're coming in just fine.
Amazing. So apparently, in order for this to work, we need to cause bleed in someone.
I am not going to punch myself in the nose every week. But
we'll just invite a random person and then just punch them.
The sad part is, we did lose connection for a bit, so the episode is chopped in half. But luckily, nothing important was lost.
All right, so I guess we should finally start proper. So right, a little while ago, DevStream 123 happened, and you were covering this, so let's get into it.
Yeah, so to reiterate, there is no DevStream this week, but Get to the Lotus has started. It is level 30 to 50 survival on Pluto for 10 Axie relics and 5s. So go do that if you want.
Yep, I did that already, not today, but when it happened last week, so It's worth it. Anyway.
I don't even remember what last week was.
More Axie relics.
Oh. Well, yeah. The dates are 15/22 and March 1st, which is going to be next week.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It is technically the 6th anniversary of Warframe.
Yay!
Which technically is incorrect, considering that Warframe went live a good while ago and was taken off and then came back, but whatever.
And then taken off again, then came back, then went down again.
So instead of getting a random Lotus gift by doing something, i.e. like a Sandana or weapons or a skin for the Excalibur, this time around they're doing events, hunting specific targets. Last week was Grenier, and I think we reached that.
Oh yeah, we did. Last week was Grenier Lancer. That encounter was so bullshit, though.
Yeah, a lot of people were not happy about it because it's like you would need to do 5 or maybe 10 exterminations, and even then, for some reason, it just would move by 0%. Not even that, just the smallest amount possible. When
that alert first came up, I thought it was a personal percentage, so I got really pissed off because I went to the plains and I stayed there for 2 to 3 hours killing random enemies. I leave 1%. All those Lancers 1%, 2 to 3 hours. So I did. I did a mission that was heavy in the Lancers. 2%. I was not happy that day.
No, I can imagine.
And then I really looked at it and went, "Oh, it's community."
Hold on.
Wow. Wow. The universe just wants to kick you in the ass.
Yes. And I seem to have gotten a call. Till Rigor, he's asking us to stop.
It's time to stop. Fucking rhino.
No, but basically, yeah. So that whole thing, I found that. Actually, here's the funny thing: if you go to the highest level of an extermination, like I did Sedna, the meter would go faster. So I think it's level based.
Yeah, probably.
Which is still
I would have to go to Eris or Pluto to kill Corpus.
Which is still bullshit, but whatever.
Yeah.
So
I liked last year's anniversary thing where it was this big event of I think I might be thinking of a different one that was similar. Where it was this big event where your gifts were stolen and you had to do these things to get them back.
I think that was an anniversary event.
Yeah, it was. And then there was a couple other events not long afterwards that did the same thing. The Halloween event was hilarious, by the way.
The event that apparently no one... It was so traumatic, no one did again.
Yep. Just seeing a juggernaut with a pumpkin on its butt was hilarious. I think it was his butt. You can never tell.
It's the head. The idea is that it's charging at you. So yeah, that's basically what's happening for this year's anniversary. There is, of course, the idea for solo player extraction.
I've already covered that. This could be very helpful.
Yes, it will, especially if you... I think the biggest... to me, whenever I do a mission, my biggest concern is the fucking Grenier... what are they called? The ones who have the dogs.
Drac.
Drac. Yeah, Drac Masters. Because they will steal your fucking weapon, and if you extract with everyone else, that weapon's gone.
No, not really.
No, it is. Trust me. I've lost Like, this was way, way back in the day. I lost, like, a weapon I spent, like, a whole night farming for. And after I did one mission with the fucking thing, it got taken. And I was just so angry. Just...
I don't think they do that anymore.
No, they still do. They still do. If they're not doing it to you, then that's lucky. That's what it is. Yeah, but anyway. So, yeah, we've got the solar player extraction, which I like. It's a good idea. You know, you don't have to all wait for the one idiot who doesn't want to leave because he needs to farm more ferrite. The most commonplace element in all of Warframe.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, let's be honest, ferrite is the most common thing in Warframe. I don't think I've ever seen anyone hurting for ferrite. Am I still there?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay, I thought it just died on me for some reason. Yeah. Right, so we've got that. The Atlas Deluxe skin was shown off.
Okay.
Very impressive.
I'm actually glad you're here when we started talking about this, because then it would sound really weird for me to explain. I was playing I was doing that that 3-hour thing, like, on the planes. I was on the planes just goofing around, and I have the dev stream in picture-in-picture mode, which is like a tiny little window that pops up over top everything else on your computer, so you can watch your videos even if you're playing on playing a game with a large window.
Okay.
And I'm playing it, and I suddenly see something white, blindingly white, out of the corner of my eye, and it's weirdly butt-shaped, like butt-cheek shaped. And I look over, and I realize it is Atlas's separated ass made of rock. Blinding white rock. So I completely stopped playing my game to watch that. I applaud whoever made that skin. You have given him butt cheeks. Like individual butt cheeks, and I love it.
Made of stone.
Made of solid rock.
It's like that.
It's like that meme where the guy slapped the roof of a car, and this time he like slaps Alice's ass, and he goes, "I just broke my hand."
No, this Warframe has so much rock hardness.
It just broke my goddamn hand.
Yeah, the moment Atlas got on screen, and I remember this quite clearly, everyone was like, turn the camera around. Turn it around. It was hilarious.
I was actually in that chat. I looked at the chat. Everybody was putting butt emotes.
Yeah.
Just butt.
So it's official then. The entirety of the Warframe community are fans of asses.
Well, we all know that Reb likes the crotch. That was still an amazing incidental zoom in.
But still, like, you know how people say, it's like, what are you into? Like, breasts or ass? And it's like, it's clear. The Warframe community loves them.
They're all ass people. Except.
Yes.
But let's be honest. You can't ignore the thigh.
No. Saren has that completely covered.
Oh, yeah.
It's like her thigh game cannot be beat.
And then there's Ivara.
Yes. Actually, you know what that reminds me of? Flat out. The whole bit when Mesa Prime came out, and since she has assless chaps, she has her ass is constantly visible. However, when it came out, her ass was caved in. like something happened, and people were like, why is her ass destroyed? And immediately DE went to fix it. Like, I have never seen something fixed so quickly in Warframe.
That's saying something.
It was glorious. But it was still fun. I can see you doing that, by the way. Jeez.
I'm so excited for Hildra, though.
Yeah, no. You already have the frog. Let me have Muscle Woman.
I like her too.
Just
anyway.
super protective Rev.
Buff Woman finally arrives. Mine.
Buff Woman when? Yeah, but so the Atlas Deluxe skin was shown off. Oh yeah, Wisp was finally shown in game.
I've said this like quite a few times since they showed her off. She looks like the main character from Journey. And I made a mistake, like, comparing her to the character of Journey. I called her Wander from Journey. Wander is the main character from Shout of the Colossus.
Exactly. She's based off of Wander, don't you know? Okay, where's this? So does she fight giant fuck-off robots?
Well, on a technicality, like, there are giant pterolis and giant spiders.
True. But and none of them are giant rock things.
There's also the Fomorians, which are giant, and Jordis.
Yeah, but again, we're not fighting giant rock or humanoid things. So,
yeah.
At least not yet, anyways.
I'm excited for these new frames. I'm curious to see what Wisp is, like what she does.
I am a bit like, I'm not apprehensive at Wisp. I actually like what I see in the design, but at the same time, I'm getting worried with DE's constant like shoveling of warframes as of late, and not really, giving them quests or lore really.
Yeah.
So we're all just kind of left there wondering, it's like, oh, why was this one made, or why does it look like that?
I mean, now that the sacrifice is out and all that jazz, we're really curious about these warframes.
Yeah, like who they were before becoming warframes.
I really hope they come up with either a one-time comic or like a set of comics that explains a specific warframe's backstory.
Yeah, it could be. Technically, they kind of tried to do that with and Octavia's Anthem and Rel, but those comics were meh.
Yeah,
they were more focused on the people involved. Octavia's Anthem was based more around Suda when she was a human, and the Rel comic was based around Rel, not really Haro.
Yeah.
But personally, I like where Wisp is going. I want to see, what she is. Hopefully, maybe she'll be a warframe for the planes. Maybe,
yeah.
Yeah, DE did hint at a operator melee system, which that's going to be interesting.
Finally, the operators have a little bit more use other than zapping people and giving us energy.
I want to see the melee system. I want to see like what the idea is. Is like, I don't think they're gonna give them like heavy weapons and things like that of the warframe. No. Like maybe. Go ahead.
The Tenno were trained to be warriors, and yeah, they channel this through their warframes, but they're still taught to be fighters. And yet, when we play as them, they're useless. Like they shoot something out of their hands, but all in all, they're useless. That's not warrior. That's pathetic child.
That's like, you little shit.
Yeah. So giving them like just a simple little blade or something, that'll work.
Actually, funnily enough that you mention all this, in the the story I'm doing, right? The Warframe one.
Yeah.
Yeah, in that story, I had actually spoken with my friend Cole Jackson about the idea of Voidborn, and the idea of that being like there are people out there who it's like a random event where they get affected by the void at a young age, and they start kind of developing Tenno power, like a natural war Tenno. Now, the idea about it was when I talked to him about it, we actually discussed the idea of void-made weapons, like you know how Excalibur has the exalted blade. What if for the operator that would be the case? Like they would manifest a physical bladed weapon through the void and actually use it. It's like
cool.
Like I'm thinking it would be like we have the amps right now and we use those to shoot people. I'm guessing an amp to generate a blade for them to hold and use. I think that would be the best next thing, I think.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, it's like what, you know, and not an actual like lightsaber, obviously. It's more along the lines of
yeah,
like
that already exists.
Yeah, no. I guess you could say it's like the beam sabers from Gundam or something like that. Like it's a focusing device.
Mm.
I'm always going to bring it back to Gundam, by the way, people. It's always going to happen. I'm going to find a way to put in Gundam in anything. You've all been warned. Haha. Just very casual. Just anyway, moving on. But yeah, I would like to see where the operator power thing kind of comes in. Mm-hmm. What they do with the whole melee thing. And of course, Hildren's powers were shown off.
The buff beauty.
Her abilities I find very interesting because she's the first Warframe to have what's the word? To be her whole focus is shields, and she's technically the first Warframe to ever have that. Really, because okay, so, let's go ahead.
Let's get to the down and dirty with this buff woman. She is the first ever Warframe to not have an energy pool. All of her abilities are based around her shield, and when she first came out, everybody immediately started comparing her to Zarya from Overwatch. And I understand where they get that reference. She's a buff chick that likes to flex and carries a very large gun, and she's all about shields, because that's what Zarya does. She gives people shields and gives herself a bubble shield. But when you see the rest of her abilities, you actually see there's a lot more. It's like taking aspects from Zarya and a little bit from Pharah and a couple others to make this Warframe what she is. And
she can fly.
Yeah, she's a one-woman army, regardless of how every single Warframe is a one-person army.
Yeah, but basically she's designed or based around okay, she's basically a more upgraded version of Rhino.
Oh yeah.
Like the idea is like if Rhino is the tank that is sent in to like destroy the enemy, then Hildren is the air support unit that falls behind enemy lines. Best way to describe it.
When I watched Hildren's showcase, I saw her giant gun. I immediately thought, oh no, Liam's hard-on dream is coming true. There's a Warframe that is based exclusively on guns.
But it didn't happen. But no. Basically, the other thing I'm going to mention as well is that, you know, her powers are also based on how much shield energy she
has
uses.
Yeah.
Like the one of the weapons she has now, it's basically a miniaturized version of the Atmos, where it basically fires the rest of the shields into like a very powerful chemical sort of bath. You have the flight ability, which also runs on shields and that kind of thing. However, the thing I want to mention is that shields and Warframe suck.
Oh yeah.
Like let's not mince words here. There's a reason why people always put on steel fiber every single time.
Yeah.
Like I've actually come to notice this, especially when I play my Rhino Prime. my shields just die if I'm not using Iron Skin, and it's like, oh god, why is this happening?
So,
go ahead.
Funny thing, I kind of borked my Trinity Prime. She has like 1,000 health and 1,000 shield, and it's nearly impossible for enemies to get through her shield, even when she's not using her abilities.
What?
What? I'm not getting any of that, dude. What mods did I put on her?
Yes.
I don't remember. I would have to open up Warframe to see.
Well, if you remember, let me know, because I need more survivability. Yeah, I really do.
Like, a lot of my Warframes, I put Umbral Vitality on them, even though I really shouldn't be doing that. It gives you so much more health than regular Vitality or even Vigor.
Actually, that's the thing. Yeah, if it's at max, that should be like the big prefix there.
Yeah.
Like if it's not, you're better off just with the other thing.
Trinity is like the best example of how shields really should be if you build her right. It's really, really difficult for enemies to get through her shields, even when she's not using abilities. And even if they do get through her shields, just boop, it comes right back. And I only ever use her for hijack missions. Because 1,000 fucking shields and 1,000 fucking health. Nobody is going to stop her. She's going to walk away with your car, and you can't do anything about it. Yeah, you're roboting again.
I don't know why it just...
It's only coming in waves this time, though.
Hopefully it just doesn't go absolutely fucking mental again.
So, probably, like, the worst Warframes I've ever seen with, like, shield problem is Banshee and Volt.
And I just built Banshee.
Well, no, she's still a good Warframe, it's just you need other people with you. I have not ranked up Banshee or Volt since, like, the day I got them, because they died so fucking fast. Because they're shields.
I found the way to best offset that, especially if you're playing solo, is by just equipping your most powerful spread gun. And that mitigates the whole, you're a glass cannon at this point. That's the only way you're ever going to make it. Actually, you know what's funny? I recently got Baruch, Garuda, and... Hold on. I know there was a third one.
Garuda's really good. Just takes a bit to get used to her.
Hold on. I'm trying to remember who was the third Warframe.
Do you remember what they were able to do?
Oh, I'm actually having like a moment. Baruch, Garuda. Hold on. I'm gonna check back real quick with Allbed, because I remember showing him all this. And of course he was like, "Wow, edgy as that motherfucker." Like, again, I got no ill will to the guy. He's fun. There are moments where he can be so fucking dense.
Oh god, that entire art, like that 2 to 3 day long argument about muscle.
Okay, now fine. And the last one is Revenant. That's it. How could I forget that?
That's also a really good frame. I leveled him up so fast.
Oh, it's spin to win.
I didn't use spin to win. I only used it once.
Now, on the other abilities, he's got like Enthrall and Sleep, and like I just don't use them. It's spin to win all the way through, and I kill everything so quickly. It's like, you are now my favorite son.
I like how easily we convinced Snow to color her Revenant to look like Ballora from Five Nights at Freddy's. So now, whenever she's a spin to win, we make sure that somebody is an Octavia with that music box. Or somebody is able to play it in Fredboat.
But no, the other one as well is Baruch. And I'm like, I use Baruch, and I'm like, holy crap, this guy's good.
I have yet to get to the tier to get him, because nobody wants to do orb heists.
Why would you want to do orb heists? They're so...
Because I need a part...
Oh, no, I'm not saying that. I mean, like, people in general. Like, who would want to do orb heists anymore? You know? That's what I mean. Because let's be honest, orb heist is not fun.
Orb heist, I think you mean pinball simulator.
Exactly. It's like...
What was weirder is when I first did an orb heist with the group and how just weird my game got.
No, excuse me. I'm doing them just solo. I'm not finishing the whole thing. I'm specifically doing this to get to the third one, just so I can get my fuck off gun, and then I'm leaving.
I got my fuck off gun.
I
realize that like you just have to go to actions when you upgrade your what is it? Your giant. I'm just gonna call the giant gun. I forgot what it's actually called.
Arcwing gun.
Arcwing. That's it. Yeah, that's the name. Arcwing. You can just install it right then and there, and I didn't realize that for the longest ass time.
No, you know what's funny? I don't know how, but someone convinced me to buy with platinum a Gravamag, and I was tricked into believing, oh, this means I don't have to do things. No, you need to do that in order to get something that unlocks the whole fucking system. So now I've got the gun in my arsenal, but I can't fucking use it.
Yep.
It's like having the keys to it's like having a car, but the keys are fucking inside it. Like, and I get it. Like, DE wants the whole thing to be a giant raid boss thing, and that's fine. But it's not fun. Nobody wants to do it. It's just, and I'm not looking forward to the next one. I'm really not. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on. The Railjack hangar was shown off.
I saw it, and I was really hoping they would actually show us a close-up of Bob, because I didn't know who that was.
Bob is just the guy in the... Bob is the guy in the operations deck who's not supposed to be there. He's like, I'm up here. I'm having a good time.
I wanted to see Bob, and they never actually showed him.
DE, please show us Bob.
We want to see Bob.
Like, I'm actually hoping people are like not spamming the Twitter, no, like asking them, who's Bob and what does he look like? Like, I'm hoping he becomes the next Clem or John Prodman.
Same.
And then there's Bob. Bob is just a janitor.
It was like the entire shtick with Temmie from Undertale. Hi, my name is Bob.
Exactly. Like, I want to see him just mopping some random floor somewhere with like, you approach him, you see the name appear as Bob, and it's interact with Bob. He just looks up, waves at you, and resumes mopping. I want to see that so bad.
I'm trying to find those pictures of when the orb heist really fucked up, and it was really weird.
Oh, wait, actually, speaking of images, there is... Try and find. Like, I got an idea what Bob might look like.
Are people drawing fan art of Bob?
This completely... Like, this happened several years ago before... what's the word? Before... let's see here. Here it is. So, a guy who used to do Warframe, Source Filmer. Yes, Source Filmer.
Sounds like something from The Simpsons.
No, the guy who used to do source filmmaker stuff with Warframe before he left and started doing things in like Unreal. It's still Warframe, just it's Unreal stuff, but it doesn't look right to me. It's very stiff and jittery. Nobody kind of, you know. Yeah. He had more personality when he did things in Source Filmmaker. But one of the things he created, I'm going to actually just share this with you, is this guy. Oh shit! I sent it to the wrong person. Well, now you have a random janitor. There it is.
Oh my gosh! That's the mop from Viscera Detail.
That's exactly it. This is what I hope Bob is. I'm hoping beyond hope. This is what he's going to be.
Regions everywhere. Drops, water splash, Justice Bucket.
Justice Bucket, yes!
Justice Bucket!
No. This now needs to be a thing. Bob needs to be the janitor with aspirations to Tenno-hood. And his weapons are his mop and the bucket of justice.
So, there's like 2 jokes to this.
Mm-hmm.
One, you ever see that movie Sky High? Like, yeah. Is that Disney movie? The bus driver wants so badly to be a superhero, but he just isn't. He's just a regular guy. Then at the end, it's just out of nowhere. He just dropped into nuclear waste. He's now a fighter, like a superhero. He's just equipped with a broom.
Exactly. That's what we need. We need him specifically as Bob. I'm gonna check now and see. Yeah.
Viscera cleanup detail, of course. Third, there's actually like a joke in Godzilla 2000. If you watch it with like director's commentary, because I'm crazy like that, I do that.
Mm-hmm.
The American director and all the producers, stuff like that, wanted so badly to add a scene to the movie where there's a moment in the movie where like the alien spaceship is locked down and somebody asks, like, where is Godzilla? And the person, and like the general says, we have the military sweeping the area, but nothing yet. And the director goes, we wanted so badly to add in the scene where a bunch of military dressed dudes were just sweeping the floor. But they didn't do it.
I can see why they didn't do it. Because live action serious movie, and this is a very anime-esque kind
of scans 1,283 for a janitor. Also, that shield, though. Damn. This definitely looks like the early Warframe build.
It is. Like, this all happened like way back in the day when Warframe was very jank. Some people call it the Dark Ages.
Pretty much looked like an online MMO. You didn't interact with your surroundings. You just spawned on your ship, went and did something. That was it.
Yeah, and a lot of people do miss that feeling and that how Warframe used to look, and I can agree to a certain extent.
I am still but getting back on focus here. I am excited for Railjack. So excited.
Yeah. But based on the fact that the Railjack is in the dojo, in a dojo hangar, I assume this is like something that be alliance space. Which, if that's the case, it's a good thing. We're out of Snow's clan.
We're allied with Snow's clan. I believe Lycan is allied with Snow's clan as well. So we might try and get his clan to join as well.
Good. The alliance grows stronger, and then we will build a fleet.
Good.
Exactly.
But like, I'm so excited for this.
Agreed. Let's see. New cosmetics in the game, yeah. New corpus map shown off, and yeah. I almost forgot. We have Roombas now.
Oh my God! So The day Roombas actually were released, in general, in real life here, when you could actually have a little robot clean your house, my mom lost her goddamn mind. She wanted one for each and every room in this house.
Oh no, we have a Roomba here, and that fucking thing is such a pain in the ass.
Oh yeah, it is. It is such a pain in the ass. So my dad goes cheap and he buys one of those mop / broom robots, which is just a little ball in a plastic cage that rolls around. My mom still loves her to death. She named it Rosie. But we got a Roomba. She named it Belvedere. We got it. It died because it fell off the goddamn stairs when it says it's not supposed to.
Wow!
It's time to tape Ascana to the floor drones. Yes. Knife fight with Roombas. We got another Roomba. She named him Dumbass because he was a dumbass. He did not realize that pushing for 5 minutes straight against a wall will not make it move. He was bright yellow with black accents. He was ugly. We got yet another, which she named Jeeves. There's a theme here. Every single Roomba we have gotten, she's named after a butler. We have a new one right now who is actually really good, and I really, really like this one. His name is Scooby. Because this one has a mop attachment. And I absolutely adore him, because even though he's really noisy, he's not stupid. He recognizes that there's a ledge that he can't roll over, so he'll actually he'll connect with the ledge and sweep around it, and then he'll leave. If for some reason I put him upstairs in the library, because at the very top of the stairs, he'll actually stop at the top step, turn, clean the step, and then leave it alone. He won't fall. But I still have to close the basement door because he hasn't recognized that one yet.
Now the Roomba we have here, this one I had intended to modify and make it intelligent, right? And in order to, and specifically, I was going to attach, because I had a friend who taught me how to take the Zaku head charger thing and turn it into an actual mini artificial intelligence thing you can hook up to the computer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I had intended to do that with the Roomba, so that way it could have an actual camera and see where it's going. But my sister, being the idiot that she can be, immediately is like, no, it's too ugly. I don't want that to happen. Now the Roomba gets lost underneath the couches.
Scooby cannot go on carpet.
No, we have hardwood floor.
Oh, I know. I'm pointing this out. Scooby cannot go on carpet. He's supposed to go on carpet. He actually has brushes that go in deep. He can't go on fucking carpet.
Scooby's like, no, this is too much for me.
Yeah. He also does not like couches, because he will I let him loose in the living room, and it's hardwood with a rug. He can't really clean the rug very well. And at one point, I started hearing him scream. This is a noise he makes when there's a severe problem. So I run upstairs. Roombas have this little bump on the tip of them, it's a sensor that is kind of like a nose. I come up, he managed to hook that bump underneath my dad's recliner.
How?
I don't know.
It's like dealing with a kid. How did you do this? I don't. But yeah, I love the fact that now the corporate ships have Roombas, and at the same time, I'm kind of wondering: are we going to be able to get one, not as a companion, but as something we can let loose?
Is that a
in
sentient?
The ship? Yes.
Oh
yes, it is.
No!
The remains of. So the new Venus map is coming out. It's a bit more open. Sorry, not Venus, Saturn. And yeah, the sentient are everywhere now.
Oh, the Saturn map is going to be like the new open world, isn't it?
No. It's more open level design. It's not another open.
Oh, you mean Jupiter, because Saturn is Grenier.
Oh yeah, Jupiter.
Yeah, I saw that map, and like as they're running around showing it off, I started thinking, oh my god, it's Star Wars. Like, please don't tell me that you saw that and didn't think of Cloud City.
Oh no, but obviously due to legal Cloud City.
It looks like a scene from like the older Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
By the way, I've told Snow that if I take too long, they can start D&D without me.
Okay.
Just I don't want to go on until they're like almost like 5 minutes from the end.
Fair enough. Right. Yeah. It's Jupiter. It's getting reworked. All of it looks a lot more corpus, for lack of a better word. It's very clean. It's very it's more open. You know,
well,
like you can
say
actually
clean.
step
It
up.
looks dingy and dirty as hell. Like it looks industrial.
Exactly, especially for in fact, this is a perfect side by side of the two maps.
Yeah. Like unfortunately, like what sucks is that not very many people are going to be able to experience the new map because of the graphics cards.
Oh yeah, I have no idea if I'm going to be able to do it as well as I am, because apparently I might be on the bare minimum here, but at the same time, kind of like this is gonna fuck up.
I can only imagine the frustration with Liam.
Yeah, and they also showed off some, like I said, in a lot of these screenshots and things. They also showed off some like really disturbing things, and you know what I'm talking about. The scene with the people hooked up to the machines, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the more I look at it, the more I realize something horrible. They're trying to mimic how how operators control warframes.
I believe
But
we
they're
talked
trying to
about
do.
this like it was our
Go on.
last stream or the stream before.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, but it's clear they're trying to take over the sentience like we control warframes, and it's not gonna work.
no, it's not.
You guys are actively fucking this up. So stop it.
What's funnier is that a corpus made the sentience.
Exactly. The irony is hilarious. It's like just delicious.
Yeah.
So all of you are dumb fucks. But no, honestly, the new gas city is going to be interesting. But again, I can already hear a lot of people not happy with it as well. For example, one of my other friends, someone who doesn't use Discord, is one of the people who play Warframe. Oh, excuse me, Warframe really early back in the day, like year one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't like how things are going. He doesn't like the changes graphically Warframe's undergoing. He doesn't like the new maps and things of that nature. And at the same time, I'm like, okay, I don't blame him for that. But at the same time, it's like, dude, things need to advance and change with time.
Yeah.
It can't it can't be stagnant. You know? Like, I'm not trying to be a dick to him or anything.
The only thing that's remained stagnant is the fucking pet AI.
For some fucking reason.
Like everybody, I find that very funny. Absolutely nobody in chat when they were showing the roadmap said pet AI. Nobody asked them to fix the pet AI when it's such a problem.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
barely remember the early days of Warframe. I just remember the glitch where my arm twisted behind my head.
I still have that one.
I know. I tab back to that sometimes because I still find it so funny. But I remember the early days of Warframe where what I do remember is that the Earth map was literally just tunnels underground. There was nothing there.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, it was so weird.
Yeah, like everything from way, like it's really shocking to see the differences between Warframe from yesterday and Warframe of now, and how sleek and how clean everything looks in comparison. It's like, wow, this is so weird.
One memory I have of Warframe, it was when I believe you and I were actually like talking about Kavats and they were being released and like our theories and stuff like that, like a Warframe that has Kavats. Ooh, that'd be cool. And that was a long time ago. Yeah. I remember it was the first time I actually managed to unlock Infested. Like my first ever mission with Infested. Like this is the first time I've ever seen them. First time I'm introduced to them. The ship has no lights. It is so dark. All that's lit up in the room is one of those stand-up floodlights that the Grenier have on those tripods. And there's like there's like glowing infestation in the corner, and I've never seen this stuff before. But it's so dark and there's really nothing there. And I remember I went up the stairs and turned around and there was a charger. And I wasn't able to get a really good detail on what it looked like. But now, like when you play the maps, if the game is too dark, then people complain and they fix it.
Yeah, and that's something that I think a lot of people have been also talking about, the change, in mood lighting as well. A lot of people are saying that a lot of places are too bright, but not in the sense of like it's so blinding I need to turn down my gamma. No, it's more like it's too bright for what the setting is more the case.
So what's weird for me is Corpus maps, like they have this lighting issue.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've actually played a mission together and bitched about the lighting issue in one specific corner next to an elevator, where it suddenly becomes pitch black. There's nothing there. There's no details except for some weird reason, Corpus crewman suits are perfectly lit. Anyway,
yeah.
One mission, you're playing a Corpus map, it's really nicely lit. But the next time you play this map, for some weird reason, it is so blindingly bright. Like you can't see details on doors or on lockers. It's so bright. It's like walking through a supermarket and like having all those lights above you just suddenly dropped right above your head.
That's so fucking bright. Ah! That's all I can imagine.
Pretty much. It's hard to see detail, and like the gamma levels are just fine. Like the mission before that was just fine. It's just suddenly this Corpus map is very bright, and it's hard to really see details or anything. It's hard to see indicators, and it's even weirder when you have like Infested running around.
Oh yeah, definitely. And to be quite honest, like, going on this little side topic of the old maps and everything, I do miss some of the more intricate details, some things that, you could not really blink it and miss, but more like, I don't know. Like, I feel like a lot of people feel nostalgic for old Warframe.
Yeah.
And I can't really fault them, because back then it did feel like the world was so different, so new, and you wanted to explore and learn and theorize what a Warframe is. Like, I still remember those days. And, we're moving forward. The focus has moved away from
the game is growing.
Yeah, the game's not element. It's more like the game's oh god, what you call it? Setting has moved away from really old school sci-fi to more an 80s sci-fi with Fortuna and so on.
Yeah.
And that's not bad, really. It's kind of interesting. Fun, even. So, yeah.
One thing I am really glad is not around anymore is the fucking parkour. I hated that moment. I absolutely hate that. I can't. Like, when I first started Warframe, I could not jump up anywhere. I couldn't maneuver anywhere. You did just fine, and just stood there watching me flail. I hated it. I am so glad that's not a thing anymore.
Yeah, actually, funnily enough, I remember through the changes of Warframe. Like, this is a good few years after you and I get in. And it was like at the low point when you and I stopped playing for a while. You know, we wanted to wait till things got better.
Well, it's mostly because, like, I was playing Warframe on my brother's laptop, and my actual computer was shit. So, and then, like, I had an entire year or two with no internet, which sucked. So it's not like I could actually, like, I stopped playing Warframe because I wanted to.
Yeah, and to be honest, I stopped playing not because I didn't want to either. No, it was more along the fact of there was little to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I still played it, but there wasn't much for me to go back to. And one of my objectives, by the way, this was early on, like way, way back in the day. So one of my objectives for it was, well, until the next quest or whatever comes out, my objective will be to unlock every weapon and every Warframe to date. And then I realized I had to start paying for weapons and, you know, the slots and everything, and that put a hamper on it. I was like, I'm fine now. You know, and then, like I said, to this day, I still don't believe in giving money to a game where where the essential should be.
Where the game,
you know.
Yeah. Where you can actually get the exact same weapon and the exact same Warframe through hard work.
Exactly. And now it's changed. Now there's more to do. The planes, the Orb Valis, random missions, farming, you know, it's all there. And honestly, I can spend a good while following my objectives, doing what I want to do.
What I like is the difference between just the entire aesthetic of the Plains of Eidolon to Fortuna. With the Plains of Eidolon, it shows a sci-fi that is wasteland, ruin, primitive, very, very primitive.
With the people, yes.
Well, with the people and the technology. But when you go to Fortuna, it's different. It's 80s. It's hyper sci-fi or something like that. It's like you're walking through an alien movie or something similar.
Oh no, it's more like Blade. You know, all the neon lights.
I broke my personal rule to never put money in a video game. I only spent money on Warframe once. And it was my birthday. So I had every right to do so.
Yeah, and that's fair and all the same. Honestly, you know, the game has progressed, the game's evolved, the bosses have changed, everything's just really moved right along, and this dev stream kind of points to more changes in the future.
It definitely shows that, like, they're actually seeing the repetitiveness of what they've made. Like, Warframes have energy pool, they have shields, and they all have 4 abilities. Sometimes there's a player who's rather toxic, and they only think a Warframe is good for one specific ability. And they've decided to just clean slate it and think about their Warframes and what it does. With Hildryn, she has no energy. She relies on her shields. Strictly shields. So you can't put a mod on her that gives her more energy. It's all based on her shields. Obviously, there's still going to be, like, that one player that only likes her for one ability.
Oh yeah, like, I'm going to be honest. I am extremely one-track mind when it comes to playing Warframes. Yeah. Like, I'll purposely just build up the most, like, boring solo player based stuff. But again, that's not because I hate fellow players or nothing like that. No.
It's because his computer hates you.
Exactly. I have to play alone, and I have to just sit there and say, I bet all my friends are having so much fun.
Not really.
And I'm just sitting there. I'm just sitting there on the orbiter like,
You're like, oh, I bet my friends are having fun. No, not really. Like, I'll play Warframe, but for the most part, I'm playing like spy missions or capture missions or doing Hive, and I'm doing all this alone. And like, to be honest, like after 20 minutes, there's nothing for me to do.
Yeah, I can put hours into Warframe, but that's only because I'm like, I need to get this. I'm probably gonna need that.
What's worse is like when you realize that when you make a plan like that, halfway through you realize, oh shit, I need more people to do this one thing. And this one thing is something nobody else likes doing, but I actually enjoy. God damn it.
Exactly, just like
like during the beginning, I don't mind survival missions. I really don't. It's just after 10 to 15 minutes, I am already exhausted. Like, I am having to keep my focus on more than one thing in the mission. Like, there's no directive, just survive for as long as you can. And after a while, I get tired. I don't want to play anymore. I want to do something else. Like, no joke, the last survival mission I did with Lycan, and Snow, she was actually there too, we got to 10 minutes, and in the back of my mind I thought, oh god damn it, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to go play Ark and just have my unicorns bang each other. I would rather have that than this. And that is a very long process, by the way.
Fair enough. But still, at least things have changed. We have more variety to do. And honestly, I'm happy about that. I really am. And to be frank, just like how I've said long ago, like how Overwatch has potential to expand beyond its game, like in other medias. Warframe has that same potential. And the fact that DE is going to explore it with the, what's the word? Oh, good, thank you. Basically, like I've said, and the fact that DE is looking into this whole the Wolf of Saturn VI and having an actual motion comic in game to reveal things, that I think that really works. And this shows that they want to spread out more.
I like this scanner person, by the way. I really like her.
I don't trust her.
I mean, yeah, but I like her. When we first moved to this house, I got a tiny little purple radio.
Mm-hmm.
Very simple. I played Britney Spears on the thing at max volume whenever I cleaned my room. But at night, I turned the volume down really low, and I would listen to the show called Delilah. And it was really, really nice, because it actually helped me adjust to living in this house. And she's like soft-spoken, she's very calm, and she surprisingly had a deep voice. But the scanner lady, Nora, I believe is her name. She's just like that. She's a nighttime radio host. And she does like drop some hints. It takes somebody to stop for a moment and listen or read, because her subtitles do show up.
Mm-hmm. And but that's the thing. I don't her right off the bat, and that's the thing. I didn't trust Duck when I first met her either, because that's
I do not blame you at all. After hearing what she does and what she's able to do, I don't blame you.
Well, that's the thing. It's that little, like everyone in Warframe, I keep them at arm's because I don't know what their motive is. Not because Lotus is missing, but it's more like, I have to watch out, and I'm not going to be taking a full force. Everyone's at arm's length. Little Duck, I had to really, look into her. And when I found out that she is actually a decent person, not some greedy treasure hunter, but someone who actually has risked life and limb to help others out, I came to like her and trust her a bit more. And the fact that she actually helps you in the Orb Valis hunt, is a pleasant addition.
She is the only Solaris person who actually is willing to go out and spit in Nefania's face, while everybody else, they do it behind like smoke and mirrors and all that shit. But she will actually run up and punch him in the face. She's the only one who will do that.
Yeah, and to be fair, I don't blame them for needing to stay in the shadows. I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Need to hide away, especially considering what they are. It's the fact that they're. My admiration for the Solaris comes in the form of the fact that these are people that they're indebted, that they know they're never going to get out of this kind of debt. But the fact that they're willing to fight and kick Neff out at any possible turn has endeared me to them. More so than the Ostron. Those are just lazy people, and I've just grown to hate them.
Like the Ostrons are merchants by trade. They're not necessarily warriors. Well, no, correction. They can fight if they need to, but they've not needed to for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But then, the Warframes show up, and Warframes, they fight all the goddamn time. So why not send them?
Exactly, and that's what irks me: the fact that they use us as the for. That's what pisses me off. And I've seen just way too many of them lazing about doing jack and shit, and it's driven me up a wall. The only Ostrons I think I can actually tolerate and consider friends is Nakak, maybe Konzu, and the Quill. And that's about it.
I'm surprised you didn't add the weaponsmith, because he's absolutely hilarious.
Hawk is fine as a weaponsmith, and I'm fairly certain he can hold his own in a fight. So maybe him too, but mostly at the same time, I'm just kind of like, this is more of a business arrangement than someone I want covering my back in the field.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we have been on Warframe for a while.
Yeah, we're like the entire stream, regardless of like the slow start, has been an almost 2 hours. We're like 3 minutes away from 2 hours. And it's like 3:00 now.
Jesus. Well, I guess we'll just keep moving then.
Yeah. Should we back up and go to Monster Hunter Worlds thing?
Yeah, because this will be a relatively, I think.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Well, it's a small DLC. It's not like, we need to, So, yeah. Monster Hunter World has been getting its own, a lot of DLCs as of late. And you would think these DLCs are like, part of the world itself, right? Like, oh, here's a hidden monster or a new area is unlocked. No. These are the weirdest DLCs I think I've ever seen for this game. The first one was fucking Final Fantasy, for fuck's sake. Yeah, that was a thing. Have you not seen that?
No.
Oh my! Just hold on. Now I need to show you this. It's a relatively small DLC as well, with about a few monsters that got added in. This includes basically a crystal appears and causes to open, and one of the creatures that comes to your aid is a fucking is a Koopa, the floating things, the white puffballs. Yeah, so this thing is here because its crystal was taken, and it wants it back to go home. Now, this is the Koopa isn't the only creature that wound up being pulled in, by the way. So I'm just showing it. So this is the character you meet. Yeah, it looks fucking weird, and it looks so fucking weird in a realistic. And the other creature that also has wound up here are a very familiar, annoying, green little bastard. Yeah, the fucking cactars.
So Terraria has this mod that's like absolutely insane. Like, it's recommended that people who have played the game for years play this mod. And one of the bosses is a giant cactar that's actually bigger than the Moon Lord. It's like the biggest enemy ever. And it takes up the entire fucking screen. You can't escape it.
Well, fortunately, the cactars aren't enemy background decoration, which I was like, thank you. I am not putting up with this bullshit. But no, apparently one of the bosses you have to fight is one of the Kulu Yakus that has taken the crystal and is trying to destroy the fucking thing because it's so retarded. And it winds up becoming gigantic as a result. Yeah, it becomes gigantic because it touches the fucking crystal, and it's like, wait a minute.
Out of context, now. that set of furry drawings now makes a lot more sense. You don't want to know.
It grows larger too to actually hold the crystal like this. And it's so hilarious that this thing is now is now a greater threat. The irony is palpable.
This is the mastermind of this horrible event. It's like the fucking Shiba Inu from Silent Hill.
But no, but the other creature you have to kill. See, and it is the behemoth.
Oh god.
Yeah, this. I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a lion bull thing.
Well, in the original text, behemoth was pretty much a giant bull.
That explains the muscular.
That explains why the Final Fantasy behemoth looks like a bull.
Yeah, well, actually, this one takes more inspiration from that original, believe it or not, in design. I mean, like the horns, the musculature. It looks like a bull cross with a lion, like actually an actual cross creature.
There's a D&D monster I need to show you later.
I'm trying to find a good full body image of this version to kind of like put the point home, but it's like it's all just headshots for some random reason. And random ass shots. Why? Why are you doing this? It's like, people, come on. Ugh. Fuck it. We're going with this one. Yeah, so...
I'm just going to send you this picture.
All right, but basically, the creature winds up in the Elder's Recess. And because of it, it's now just using its fire and everything to... oh, God, what's the word I'm looking for here? It's to... Note to self, we'll talk about that later.
That's an actual D&D monster.
That's horrifying.
I could think of worse, but all right.
Yeah, so basically the behemoth, and because of how aggressive this thing is, you know, it's a monster destruction. It's kind of like Nergigante Extinction Dragon. And it's just killing everything. So you have to go in and take it out, obviously. But as you can imagine, it is the most pain in the ass fight you can imagine. Like, it's so difficult of a boss fight that you need 4 people to beat it. Like, you actually need someone, a dedicated healer, tank, range, and some 4th guy, I forget. I honestly couldn't tell you who else was the other guy. I forget. Waiting for a reaction. Anyway. So yeah, so that was one of the DLCs. There she is.
The fucking wiggler. I love those little things.
Anyway. So for this next one, the Witcher DLC, yeah, Geralt just appears in Monster Hunter. I mean, they give a reason, obviously. A portal opens up and he falls through. Now, I like to point out that in Witcher, there are portals, and it is a universe that had like a multiverse collapse happen. So, like animals from different dimensions fell in. All right. So, the fact that Geralt is here is not the universe. In fact, it fucking makes sense. As creepy as it is. So, Geralt was falling here, and two others come.
Whoa.
Hold on. Give it a moment. It's still like.
Yep.
Hold on a second.
Oh, nope, you're good.
Okay, good. So, one of the creatures that falls in is it's a weird undead monster called a necker. I don't know what it is exactly. It's like Swedish. No, not Swedish. It's a Netherlands mythological creature turned into a video game, and when you encounter it in the game, the commission, the commander, everyone's like, "The fuck is this?" And they actually appropriately realize it's undead, and this is something that's never happened in Monster Hunter. Yeah, there are creatures who are killed and resurrected, but it's never like pure undeadism. So they're kind of like shocked that this is a thing. And then Geralt comes in, and he strikes a deal. I actually like it. They get the voice actor to reprise his role as Geralt for this DLC. And what's amazing is the entire game, you don't play as your hunter. This time around, you play as Geralt for 3 missions, roughly. This includes 2 side quests to help the Gaja Kalaka, the weird red-skinned, mask-wearing creatures.
Yeah.
Basically, one of their chieftains has become possessed, and Geralt has to basically exorcise it by destroying some weird totems, I believe, in nature, and then helping a Grimalkin save its pet, Pookie Pookie. Yeah, like I said, in Monster Hunter. So, these are 2 little side quests you can take. Fully voice active, fully cutscened, too, which is amazing. The gameplay is one-to-one The Witcher. You run around, you look for tracks, and you fight almost exactly like you do in The Witcher. Now, what's weird is that for some reason, nature is going mental. Like the creatures in the New World are acting weird. For some reason, the what's it called? The oh god, I'm trying to remember what they're called. The Jagras are acting like a small army. Revoltures, small bird carrion birds, are swarming entire creatures and murdering when they normally they wouldn't do that. And plant life is going absolutely mental. Like we're talking about roots springing out of the ground and trapping people in place. So yeah, you hear all this and your immediate thought is, the fuck is going on? Right?
Yeah.
Well, it turns out Geralt figures it out quickly. It's being done by a creature called a Leshen. You've never seen this thing, have you?
Nope.
How to describe it? A Leshen is like, it's a thing that looks like it's born from a tree, but for some reason has the skull of a deer on its head.
Oh god.
Mm-hmm.
Like a Wendigo.
More like an ent, really, that just decided, I'm going to wear. But the point being is that these things are magical in nature. They're spirits of a forest, but the more ancient parts of a forest. They stay far into nature. They are hyper aggressive. They hate everything. They hate anything that isn't of nature. This includes humans, sapient animals, that kind of shit. And so, as you can imagine, all this abundancy of life, animals and humans, it's driven this Leshen insane with one desire. I'm going to take over the new world and fuck everything I want. In exactly that order. It's possessing animals and forcing them to fight. It's kind of an interesting little dynamic, isn't it? Like, normally you think forest spirit, you'd think it's a creature that's trying to protect the forest. No, this thing is like making animals fight each other for its amusement. And yet it's from nature.
That
Weird, isn't it?
Seasons After Fall. It's a beautiful painted game. They actually have that. Like, a forest guardian is doing weird things to animals and plants when they're not supposed to. A deer climbed a tree and a fish was flying in the sky. It was just doing it for fun because it was bored, when it really should not be doing that. And
yeah, go ahead.
The sad part, like the sad as in like kind of stupid thing is, it refuses to listen to the people that are teaching it. Like, there are 4 guardians in that game. Winter, summer, spring, and fall. The bear, which is
all right.
Winter, yeah, he's Winter, is their primary teacher and keeps telling them, like, I don't want you to be sorry, I don't want you to apologize, and I don't I just want you to understand what you're doing. And the spirit continues to think, they hate me, I'm going to be replaced by a new guardian, which he keeps telling her is impossible. And they put the guardians to sleep and start fucking around with the forest.
Yeah, effectively this thing, except it's just pure. It hates everything, and because it's a new world, a new place, it thinks it can just muscle in. So Geralt rushes in and basically does what a witcher does best: kill monsters. Ironic given the setting. So he's a man who works for hire. He never does anything for free, even though a player could play him like that. And he negotiates with the commission, gets them to pay him a substantial fee for his services. But you never get the idea that he's being a prick about it. It's more like, different world, different situation. I could die more so than normal. However, what's interesting is that once he leaves through a portal, he manages to find, everyone from the Fifth Fleet, the Commission, comes in to bid him farewell. And of course, your handler, the one nobody likes, has the money of Zenny. She wants, she has to pay him. And they're all very happy to pay him, honor bound. But instead, the Witcher, Geralt pretty much admits that, yeah, even though that's a lot of money, it's probably not going to help me in my world. So give it to your best hunter, which is the player. Actually, you know what's funny? Geralt actually has a lot of respect and admiration for the player character. Like, he actually admires the player hunter's skills and abilities, and is surprised that someone who isn't a Witcher is doing a very good job about beating monsters like a Witcher would normally do. So I actually kind of like that. Gives the player kind of like a nod and a wink, It's very good. So yeah, overall, it's an interesting DLC. It's following the Monster Hunter world, crossing over with a few more realistic game setting titles, trying to make sense of how characters from different games can appear, dimensional hopping. yada yada. It's actually kind of fun. Oh, and one more thing. When Geralt is there and talks about how he can use magic, everyone is so surprised by this. I'd like to point out that in Monster Hunter, magic has been like extinct for eons, basically. So the fact that a human being is using it is like something you don't see every day. It's like a man flying.
Yeah.
And when Geralt is leaving, he has a feeling that another Leshen or could return to this world. So he actually gives the player character a rune stone with a fire symbol infused with magic. So now you can actually summon magic in game. But basically, like the laws of The Witcher is items can be imbued with magic if you write down the right kind of rune and symbol. And this kind of magic never fades either. So effectively, you now have the only source of magic in the entire new world, and even the entire world proper, in the shape of a stone that you could probably give to your descendants. Like that alone is making me like, yes, so much yes. But
I'm
yes.
over here enjoying wigglers.
Yeah, the fucking wiggler head. Behold, my army of wigglers shall go out into the we'll go out into the field and conquer the world. Whoever made the wiggler hat, I'm so happy they did. It's like, this is mine now. It's so actually when we're done here, remind an animated monster thing. Like you're gonna get a kick out of it. But yeah, overall, the DLC is short, like maybe 3 missions proper, and then a few side quests, and that's about it. So now the question becomes, what is the next thing to happen to Monster Hunter?
The funny thing is, I'm looking at Wiggler heads, and something has popped up that of what somebody is hoping will come true is Horizon Zero Dawn crossover.
Well, technically, that's already happened.
There's also like images for like Devil May Cry.
That's also happened. It is an armor you can get, you can download and use. And as for the Horizons, that was a cross-promotional thing where you could actually, I believe it's put in a certain code or something. Okay. You could put in, I believe, a certain code or something, and you could play as Aloy, and your Palico would be replaced with a robot.
Yeah, which is that image I just sent. Okay.
Yeah, that's basically what you could do. Yeah, it's already happened. I guess people are more like an official DLC kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I don't see the Horizon Zero Dawn getting the Witcher or Final Fantasy treatment, specifically because the what's the word I'm looking for here? Specifically because there's no logical way for Aloy to appear. You know, specifically because of the whole dimensional hopping thing. That's more hard sci-fi with no dimension stuff. The Devil May Cry one might be more plausible, again because portals and shit of that nature do exist. So, have at it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's a. What the fuck?
What?
Don't remember the name of these things. It's an entire giant fish.
A giant fish?
They're those golden iguana things with like the black tummies.
Oh, Jagras, yeah.
It's showing like a Jagras like swallow a giant ass fish whole.
Yeah.
Like the player is just stalking around watching.
Yeah, but nobody likes the Jagras because
they're just it's like a bunch of street gangsters that are really terrible at what they do.
No, it's not even that. It's more like the fucking, it's a fat lizard. Nobody cares. You are the joke monster. More so than the fucking dodo.
Or a Jaggies. Oh god,
Or the
Jagras and
Jaggies.
Jaggy. Oh my god.
Yeah, there you go. Now she realized nomenclature. Yeah, it is purposely done specifically for it's the terminology Jagras, Jaggy, Jagrin. It's specifically for pack-based monsters that have an alpha, basically.
Anyway.
Go ahead. Keep talking.
Oh no, you found something, didn't you?
Yes. Something silly. Something I hope we use in the future.
Let me see.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Repent!
Moving on to the next topic.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. So we've covered Monster Hunter, we've covered the stream. Let's go into a few sadder topics, I suppose. Obsidian Entertainment actually comes to Bethesda's rescue and tells fans to fuck off.
This is weird. Understandable, but also weird.
Yeah. It's... Why would you come to Bethesda's aid? Bethesda, that has, over.
Yeah.
And that's not even hyperbole either. Specifically because Bethesda purposely, they had a bounty system for when they were doing Fallout New Vegas, right?
Yeah.
And this little bounty, like the additional money that Obsidian would get, would only happen if Fallout New Vegas. What's the word? Fallout New Vegas got a certain Metacritic score. Again, something completely out of Obsidian's control. And they did this specifically to destroy, not even destroy, but to screw Obsidian out. So the fact that Obsidian is actually coming to chill, where we don't hate Bethesda, and you guys should really stop picking on the poor group, is really fucking weird.
It is weird, mostly because Bethesda continuously shoots themselves in the foot trying to screw over their own player base.
Yeah.
And Obsidian games are pretty good, depending on which one you're into. And they've worked with Bethesda in the past, and that's the part that I understand why they would defend them. But at the same time, why defend them now?
Yes. And I guess it's because they don't want people to associate the Outer Worlds, the Fallout New Vegas effectively, with hate Bethesda. I guess that's what they're trying to do, because people are saying, they're picking on poor Bethesda with this future game, and I guess they don't want the fans to bill it as something it's not. To describe what's happening with what's happened is the following: Bethesda, you turned them against me. Obsidian, you have done that yourself.
I think for the most part, Obsidian is just saying, stop picking on these guys, just so Bethesda will leave them the fuck alone.
Yeah.
It's if Bethesda does fall, and Obsidian didn't stand up for them like this, Bethesda will actually attack them, saying you didn't stand up for us, you're terrible, and start doing things that will really screw the company over big time. But since Obsidian has come out and said, leave Bethesda alone, which they probably don't really mean, Bethesda in their mind thinks, okay, these guys are actually on our side. If we fall, it's not their fault. They're probably still going to attack them, but at least they're not going to destroy the company out of spite.
Actually, you know what's funny? Speaking, this was actually something I was going to add to the topics, but since we're on the subject, basically, as we all know, they're trying to make a new Elder Scrolls game, right? Elder Scrolls 6. And people have been theorizing about the name, and what's kind of crept up is something that Bethesda is calling the Elder. People think the next game is going to be the Elder Scrolls Redfall, right, or Red Falls. And what happened is that during this time, Bethesda reissued a oh god, what's the word I'm looking for here? They reissued a copyright claim on the word Redfall. However, the Redfall copyright belongs to someone who has made a series of fantasy books under the same title, and they actually feel like Bethesda could be a threat to their books. Again, not out of spite or malice. It's more like, you're big and popular. We kind of don't want people saying we've done this, we've done that. And basically, yeah. So I have a bit of the article here.
Bethesda has a long history of copyrighting just one word that is found in their titles. That doesn't make sense.
They've actually jumped into a legal battle right now with Bookbreeze, the publisher of the series of the post-apocalyptic titles titled Redfall by author J. Faulkner. Basically, Faulkner has actually. Let me see if I can section, because he actually came out and he's actually come out and has tried to negotiate with Bethesda to what's the word, to settle this amicably. He's trying to start anything. He doesn't want a legal battle with with Bethesda. Okay, here we go. So Faulkner released this tweet a little while ago. I think the date's right here. February 20th. So about 2 days ago.
Still there. Oh god.
We need to make that a thing now. We need to make the repent pickle thing.
Repent pickle. Repent pickle.
Yes.
Oh my god, this is like the best sentence ever.
I am saving this. I've added it to favorites so I never forget. Right. So the tweet says the following. I'm going to read at Zodells, your Redfall article. My lawyers made attempts to contact gaming company to work out a simple licensing deal for them to use my Redfall name. They ignore me every time. Shame. Left me no choice. All could have been avoided. Just call my attorneys back. By the way, the guy's English is not the guy's first language, by the way.
Yeah.
So don't harass the poor guy. He's not trying.
Yeah.
Ironic, actually, a writer whose first language isn't English. Sorry. Bad ref.
You're one to talk. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's Bethesda. I love Skyrim very much. I absolutely adore Skyrim. But copywriting one word in a title is getting super fucking annoying.
Oh no, there's more. Apparently, during Minecraft's talk with Bethesda, this is the thing. Apparently, Bethesda fighting court cases for these trademarks and losing tons of money, but also losing the court cases and doing all this, and not specifically to make the person who's winning these things to give up. and just get so annoyed with their constant bullshitting and their constant fighting that they just say, okay, fine, whatever, you win, here you go. I don't care.
So
go ahead.
That game that came out that we actually covered last time, Pray for the Gods.
Yeah. Was forced to change because
that is so fucking annoying. Like,
yeah,
just because they have the word pray. And I remember like there was like a mobile game that Captain Sparkles worked on. They originally wanted to call it Fortress Fallout. And Bethesda attacked, saying, if somebody says Fortress Fallout, they're going to think of our Fallout game. No, they're not. Not a single moment in any of these games are we going to think of your game. We're going to think of the game that this title belongs to. Pray for the Gods. I am not thinking of Prey. That's it.
The game franchise you murdered. Yeah, I'm still angry about that, by the way.
Like, the original Prey was a Native American guy on an alien ship, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
That I remember. I remember that a lot more than the current one. The current one I didn't care for at all. I didn't see anything of it. Except for maybe the ending.
It got a lot of attention because it had an interesting enemy, but as soon as people really played it, the sales and dropped off. Ironic, isn't it? Considering that the original Prey made so much money and people had so much fun with it because it was so fucking weird.
It's like the only other Native American game character people can think of is Turok. And even that was weird. Like a Native American guy fighting dinosaurs with guns that shoot lasers, which I absolutely love, by the way. But then, like, Prey, the original, comes out. It's a Native American guy from an actual, on an actual reserve, or sorry, preservation, not reserve, on a preservation in a casino, is now fighting aliens, like, Doom style.
In space.
That too. And it's weird, but it's really, really good. And then this Prey comes out, and everyone's comparison is The Thing mixed with Prop Hunt from Gmod.
Exactly. Bethesda tries to copy, ironically, tries to copycat Prop Hunt and fail.
Yeah.
Irony. But like I said, it's just, this is disgusting. This is honestly what revolts me to Bethesda. This constant greed for words and, we need to monetize this, and nobody fucking, this is why, on top of Fallout 76, why people are leaving you in droves. The only reason why people are still sticking with you is because of fucking Doom. That's literally it. And that's only because another group within your company is keeping it going. You dumb shits.
I'm going to be so furious. Absolutely furious. If a game comes out with just the word Doom mixed in, and they try to take it down.
I don't think they can, because technically speaking, Doom is such a... Actually, let me see if I can find it.
It's like, I've never played Doom, but I do like it.
Doom. Classic Doom, classic Doom.
Sing the Doom song. Shut up, Gur.
Oh, here we go. Here's one. Nickelodeon, SpongeBob, and the Nicktoons, Globs of Doom.
Yeah.
That's one. Let's see what else I can find. Are you going to try and fight...
honestly, nobody's going to attack that.
Exactly. Are you going to fucking try and fight Nickelodeon? So, bitches. Ooh, that's right. I called you all bitches. Let's see what else. No, it's just the Doom franchise. That's it. That's the only thing I can find that has...
But still, if a game does come out with the word Doom mixed into its title, like, There's a whole bunch of other words with the word Doom. It's kind of like people are just going to. That's gonna be the last straw. People are gonna freak the fuck out because, like, the game Doom, from what I remember and what I've seen, it's not a game for like a corporation to be greedy with. That's not what it's meant to be used for. It's meant to entertain people. It's meant to be fun, and like the people who create it have fun with it. Like I remember hearing that one of the Easter eggs for one of the early Dooms is you can find the people who made the game's heads on a pike, and that there was like a red herring moment where you can grab some armor and then suddenly billions of monsters will spawn around you.
Yeah, the head is John Romero's, the creator of Doom's head is behind it. And actually, what makes me laugh is that his words are actually in the head speaks in backwards English.
Yeah.
And what it says is, to win the game, you must kill me, John Romero. And actually, funnily enough, Gearbox, that, the company that's completely and utterly dead, by the way.
Yeah.
They actually stole that line of code. Except they changed it around and said, to win the game, you must kill me, Randy Pitchford, a.k.a. the most uncreative man in the universe. The man who can't fucking finish a fucking game level for more than a few minutes.
Yeah.
Seriously, fuck you, Randy Pitchford, fuck you.
Still, Doom is meant to be fun. Like, it is dark, it is a shoot 'em up, but it is meant to be for fun. And to have the creators, like the newer creators of Doom, call copyright strike on a game that just has the word mixed into the title is quite literally blasphemy.
Yeah.
I am also still looking forward to the new Doom game because I rediscovered the video where Doom Guy walks through the control room and goes down the elevator. I rediscovered that video on my blog and I've been watching it on repeat.
Yep.
Just everybody's like commented reactions to the character's reactions to him walking by, and one of them like starts pointing out the guy that hides behind his chair. Is like, bitch, that is not going to save you.
I still love it.
It's still a logical reaction to the guy.
Yeah, and honestly, like I said, this whole thing, no one, myself as well, believes that. What's the word? That this copyright thing is gonna end in like financial ruin or anything like that. What a lot of people think is that because it's clear that Mr. Faulkner here is actually, he doesn't want this to go to court. He doesn't want to fight this, but he has to because he's trying to defend his copyright. And as far as I think is where this is going, Bethesda's just going to keep stringing the guy along, keep fighting him at court, but not with the intention of, legally winning this. No, it's clear that he's trying, the word I'm looking for. He's trying to, sorry, not he. They're trying to just annoy the piss out of the guy enough that he just gives up. Yeah, exactly. That they don't want to win this in a legal case. Foot to stand on, and yet that's not going to stop them. They're just going to keep. They're going to do the thing that every pathetic person who breaks the law does. I'm going to lose in this place, but I'm going to keep fighting it and bring it up to this place and this place and that.
It's like
basically what they're doing.
It's like you have like this person that's like very wholesome and stuff, like a very nice person who does not want to go to war, who doesn't want to fight, but they're like being pressured and pressured and pressured by somebody bigger than them who wants to fight them. And when the other person finally gives in to fight, the bigger person like calls in a crowd. They drag this person through the mud to fight, and they don't stop until the person just gives up and lets them win. And in doing so, this bigger person throws them in the mud. They smear them. They get people who are watching to hate the smaller person and think of them as the better person. Bethesda is pretty much Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. When you really think about it. That's like the worst comparison, but yeah.
Oh, I don't doubt it. And you know, I remember something that happened recently. I don't think you follow, like, internet beef, right? Like, that's not your bread and butter.
No, I'm aware of it. Like, I'll see it, and I'll be aware of it, and I'll keep my eye on it, but it's not something I observe.
Right. I've listened to a lot of... I follow... look at a lot of, like, internet drama and shit like that. But specifically because I want to... Not because I want to watch it unfold in real time, but just so I can catalog and wait till the inevitable... when it all just falls apart, and then whoever was the dumbass and fuck up doing this is just destroyed, right? And what this all sounds like is that fucking an event that happened where basically, have you ever heard the term internet tough guy?
Yeah.
Right. So it was between these two individuals called Andy Worski, aka the man who fought Hasbro to expose a pedophile ring in the company, and some loser called Tonkasa, who, oh God, like he's the epitome of the internet tough guy. He kept bitching and screaming and blah blah blah, right? Mm-hmm. Bullshit like that, bullshit like that, bullshit like that. And then, you want to hear what was funny about all this?
What?
Tonka was the one procrastinating and trying to postpone the fight in any way he could. And it got so bad to the point that he actually changed his name 3 days before the fight and submitted someone else's blood work so the fight would get canceled. Just so he wouldn't fight. That is like and then when people him, basically wasting. By the way, set up as an official MMA fight. By the way, people paid for tickets for this event too. So yeah. So when you bitch out like this and don't have the balls to actually fight and give your audience the shit they pay for, you can expect the whole world to hate you like it's no one's business. And what I find hilarious is that this pathetic, by the way, wheelchair-bound individual, by the way, is actually so delusional that he's still putting on his... And he's like, he won on this and this, like he's still claiming that he'll still beat the fucker up, even though he's the one who bitches out and all this. That is what Bethesda is acting like right now. That is what I'm thinking of. Bethesda is Tonka. They are trying to start beef. And when the beef finally gets to the official part, when the fight actually has to happen, they're just going to run away. That's what it sounds like to me.
I think of Peter Griffin. It's like he's like being a tough guy, and like the person leaves, he's like, yeah, just leans away.
Yeah, exactly. That's basically what it all is. But still, like I said, it's just, I really hate Bethesda. I hate what they're doing. I wouldn't pay attention to the damn company as it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Let's move on then.
Yeah.
Right. So, Metro Exodus, that came out a little while ago.
Shall I play your review theme?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
So welcome to Rev Reviews.
right, there we go. I love that theme, by the way. I'm so happy I made
Yes,
that.
it's a happy little tune.
Let me repeat that loud and clear for YouTube. I made that song. Fuck you.
You are so angry about that.
Mm.
Fair enough. So, Metro Exodus dropped about a week ago, I want to say.
Yep.
And unfortunately, as you and I are fans of the Metro series, I have to. This game has failed to deliver.
While you were like restarting your computer, I pointed this out. I watched like a little bit of it. I got as far as those two innocent villagers, and then I stopped. I was not interested in it anymore.
Oh, it doesn't pick up anymore after that. I'm going to spoil the bad ending for this, by the way. Like it's not a big spoiler. It's kind of like a mini one. That honestly, like given what's happened to Art, this isn't surprising that there's a in which he dies. So but basically in the
hold on
in the bad. Oh, sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. In the bad ending, Artyom he gets hit with so much radiation he's dying, right? And in the bad ending, he winds up on a soul train, a train going nowhere with a bunch of souls in it. And guess who shows up?
Oh, God.
Is your Uncle Bourbon. Yes, Bourbon returns, and I was so happy. I'm so happy you're here, but I'm also sad you're dead. No.
It's like, yeah, we finally get to see. Oh.
Exactly. It's like, oh no. But of course, for the brief cameo he makes the appearance, he is just as much. He's just as full of piss and vinegar as he used to be when he was alive. He just basically says, "So what if we're on a train to nowhere?" I say, "Fuck it, let's drink." He actually pours out 2 shot glasses, leaves one for you, and says, "We have so much to talk about, Dr. But I'll let you, go to the front of the train and speak with Miller." And of course, Khan also makes an appearance in the train, but it's obvious he's not dead. It's more like his spirit's there, and is like, "I'm sorry that you died, Artyom. I really am." It really is heartbreaking because this feels like the end of the line, and it's a horrible feeling, especially for Artyom. But fortunately, that's just the bad ending. So, there's more to talk about. So I will get into the proper story of Metro. Basically, so you and I both know what happened. The whole thing is, as it turns out, the war is still going. And the only reason why that no one from the outside of Moscow has come to Moscow is because they think they're dead. As it turns out, Hansa has actually been pulling the strings, and the war is still happening. The Russian government is still trying to fight against the tyranny of NATO and the rest of the world. And that's basically what happens. A misunderstanding. Artyom and Anna accidentally destroy the jamming devices. Miller and his crew is viewed as traitors, and so they leave with no other choice but to find an invisible watcher radio station and find out how to best contact the Russian government and prove that they aren't traitors. Sounds interesting so far, right? Very action-packed, very interesting.
Very Cold War.
Yeah, but that's the point. In this universe, the Cold War never ended. It actually escalated to a full war. But as you can imagine, very interesting, very like, oh my god, so cool. But I'm going to be completely blunt. This plot is dropped after the second level. Yeah. So basically, the little town you go to with the czarfish and the technophobe cult, right? After you go there, you pick up the people, and it's encourage that you don't kill too many people. Like you just make them surrender, and they actually won't attack you after that. They'll actually drop their weapons and everything. Even the cult leader, who up until this point, he's kind of like an evil, but he actually acknowledges that he doesn't want to see his people die. He doesn't want them to suffer. So he actually agrees to let you and the others use the bridge and leave the town. It means his people and he will stay alive. Kind of nice, actually.
Yeah.
It's after you leave this place, however, that things actually go south. You reach the giant Russian government bunker. Oh, by the way, in this whole time, Anna has accidentally fallen into a mini bunker filled with toxic waste, and she gets sick from exposure.
Oh,
She actually she contracts some sort of virus, but being the stubborn woman she is, wanting to prove to her father that she isn't frail, I guess, she doesn't tell anyone about what happens, even though you know what's happened because you were there, you saved her, but whatever. It's at this point that you followed all the way to this giant bunker. You and the rest enter, and the government has dissolved within itself. They've been trapped in this bunker for 20 years with about like thousands of people and have resorted to cannibalism and have been eating each other.
Ugh.
Yeah. And basically, it's bad. They're just consuming one another, killing groups. The leadership is still in power, but they're like, they're trying to keep the flock as healthy as possible. And Miller is pissed, obviously. He's angry at the fact that he believed that the Russian government was still there, and then when he gets there, it's just cannibals that almost eat his daughter, by the way. And it's here that the cannibal doctor hints that there's something wrong with her, but she kills him. He has a chance to say there's a possible cure, which, again, way to go, Anna, you dumb woman. And then, of course, by the way, all this time she's coughing too, like a really nasty cough. And then they all leave the bunker alive. I think it's, 6 people, counting Miller, you, and Artyom. And Anna. Let's see, there's Stepan, Idiot, Sam. I'm sure I'm missing 2 others. Anyway, just the rest of the Spartans, basically. They're all there, they're all together. And this is actually something I really like. The group you're with feel like a family. You all fight, you all live together. Actually, is pretty good. And the 2 civilians you save from the cult, they actually become part of the group too, a family. The little girl actually feels like someone, like Artyom's surrogate niece. She even refers to everyone as uncles. And of course, she marries one of the Spartans, the elder one of the group, the one with the beard. She marries him, and it's a very sweet thing. You actually see the wedding unfold. Everyone's celebrating. Everyone's happy, and there's this hope. You have a map, and you're heading out. Well, actually, your objective is just to find some place to settle. There's hope. Everyone's happy, and then Anna starts. Actually, no, sorry. This is before. So as you keep progressing and going, eventually, this desert, it's actually what used to be the ocean. You encounter a group of raiders who have basically become powerful. They've got slaves everywhere. They've kept everyone enslaved, and they're using fuel as a commodity, basically. They're fuel barons, oil barons. But
they've become Mad Max. That's literally Mad Max.
Pretty much, yeah. It's like, how much of this is Mad Max? Just kind of shocking when you get to the desert. It's like, and we're playing a Mad Max. I will say that the person you meet, I actually forget her name, to be quite honest. I'm trying to remember what her name was. The Asian woman we talked about, remember? Yeah. I'm trying to remember her name. I can't. It's a weird Russian. Like more so, it's I don't even know what region they're in. It's clearly not Asia. It's like some part of Russia. I can't remember what it's called. That's gonna bother me now. Basically, she works with them and she reveals that they have destroyed everyone. They have slaves and yada yada yada. And of course, Anna is still coughing, and everyone thinks it's the desert, even though she's been coughing for a while. One of the Spartans decides to stay with them because he's actually of the same descendancy as the rest of the people in the desert. He wants to help them out, which, fair enough. So, the family splinters slightly. Then, as they progress, that's when the wedding and everything happens. And then Anna coughs up blood. And the woman is actually a nurse. She checks her body, and they discover her lungs are dissolving in her body. Yeah, big oof. I actually feel quite sad about that too. I was like, see, why are you being stupid now? You could have avoided this if you just told them. You just had to be you, Anna. Actually, there is one scene in the desert. I want to bring this up real quick. Between Artyom and Anna. Like, throughout all the game, they're always close together. They're always hugging, kissing, husband and wife, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But she's also in the field. She's also helping you snipe targets. And one of the things I absolutely adored was when Artyom is fighting the lead oil baron in his tower. Anna, the guy's trying to strangle Artyom and he's holding him back, right? And as you are fighting with him, you see a red dot slowly creep along the guy's body. Anna comes in and says, "Dear, your head's in the way." And so you just kind of push the guy up till she shoots him. That was actually quite sweet. Like it's little scenes like that that makes me think, yeah, they're husbands, and they work so well together. But yeah, so it turns out her lungs are dissolving, chemical, some sort of NATO weapon, and there's a potential of saving her life, but they have to, using maps, they have to find the right place to go. So they get the maps, and basically there are they reach a massive forest area, and they kind of reveal this place and its condition, its air, might be suited to keep her alive for a bit longer as they look for a very specific medicine. And like I said, this is where the plot just kind of, sorry. And this is where the plot kind of falls to pieces, because once you reach the forest, it turns out there are just people here who were raised by a teacher, and it's just children that grew up and they're just fighting each other over the stupidest reasons, And it just feels out of place. The plot drags to a standstill, and like even after you reach the desert, there's no real motivation, but nothing feels right moving forward. And this is the thing: if what drives the plot now is saving Anna, which, by the way, would have been resolved a good 3 levels ago if she just told them what happens. Like if your plot can be resolved by someone saying something early, that's a poor plot. That is very poor writing. And Metro has never been a series that has poor writing. It's always had clever writing. It's always been a pretty decent game, at least when it comes to story. But in this case, I'm like, Jesus H. Christ, this is just horrible, Anyway, after you leave the forest and convince the people to leave because the dam's going to break and it's going to pour in radiation, eventually you guys find a location, a place, in which the yes, phone, thank you. You eventually find the last place, completely bombed out and frozen hell of a city, where apparently the medicine to save Anna's life is located at. And this is the only this is the only place I liked in all of Metro, because it felt like the most Metro game out there. Like, we're talking the entire place is frozen solid. It is bleak. There is nothing there anymore. Like, it's so toxic. It's so full of radiation, and it's beautiful. Like, you know how Metro looks when you go to the surface, right?
Yeah.
Everything's frozen, and it's a little light, but it's not like it's not oppressive. This is like it's night 24/7. There is nothing. There is windstorms. There is snow everywhere. There is frozen metal everywhere you look. There is nothing. And it feels so right. It feels correct. And at this point, at this point, Miller and Artyom decide. Miller because it's his daughter, and Artyom because it's his fault. You guys go out there into the frozen hellscape, and by the way, this is a place that's so radioactive, it's off the charts, and it shows. Like, when you eventually go through the rest of the level and reach the what's the word? And reach the location where the medicine is. Artyom is so sick with radiation, there are green spots behind his eyes, and you can see it all the time. And it's actually quite tragic because there's actually a kid whose father died before he could get them out. He was trying to find maps to find a safe place for them to live in, and it's actually kind of sad. But Miller gets the kid to come with them, and there's even a bit where finally Artyom does get the medicine for for what's afflicting Anna, and Miller's got a car. He's trying to drive like mad, and Artyom he's at death's door. They've already taken an anti-radiation medicine, but that's it. Like, he's dying, and Miller, in an act of what's honestly always endeared me about Miller is he's always willing to save the men under him. And what really endeared me at this point was Miller never took his anti-radiation sickness medicine, and he gives it to Artyom, and he dies before they make it to the train. It's heartbreaking. Like, he actively is driving through this frozen hellscape and is keeping Artyom awake. He's patting him, saying, come on, we'll be there. You get to sleep when we're there. You have a wife, you can't let her down. He's trying to keep you alive. And as this is happening, he's dying. You can see it in his voice, the way he acts. Even the kid knows he's going to die. And of course, he does. He passes out. And he dies in his sleep. Artyom manages to drive himself, the kid, and the train, but before he even has a chance to leave, he just falls out. He can't get to the train. Even the kid's trying desperately to drag this full-grown adult back to the train, screaming his lungs out. It's a very powerful scene. It really drove home. And when they finally get him on the train, he is sick. He is sick with radiation poisoning. And the only way to cure him is with a blood transfusion. Oh, now, actually, what I like is that they show us what Artyom's blood type is, AB, which is kind of interesting. Means he can take either one. And without even so much as a hesitation, the Spartans, everyone of the train, actually gives Artyom their blood without question. And they are trying to talk him back to life. They're telling him, like a family, they're trying to help him come back. One of them even says, come on, I'm giving you my blood. You'll be back on your time because it's so good, in that kind of joking way. Even the old man, the conductor, he actually tries to help him. And, as a sweet old man, he's trying to say encouraging words as well, trying to, as nice as possible. Now, I don't know what exactly correlates the good or bad. I suppose it's based on what you do in the game, keeping people alive, I suppose, sparing them. But either way, Artyom pulls through. He makes it. And they finally reach a place where they can live in the sun. And that's where the game ends. They bury Miller's body, and, the future is theirs.
Yeah.
But you see where the problems kind of come up. I guess we can remove the spoilers thing, by the way. Yeah, sorry, I'm having a moment right now.
Yeah.
It's like whenever I talk about something like this, I need to look at repent. No. Yes, repent, pickle.
Oh, I can think of so many wrong things.
I'm picturing a priest smacking someone with a pickle. Repent!
Repent with this dill!
but no, basically, but that's the thing. The game really is just, it's lacking. The plot is lacking. There's little in the way that's interesting. It really does. They ran out of steam. They just kind of cobbled together this plot out of Elmer's glue and snot.
And duct tape. Well, not even duct tape, because duct tape is pretty powerful.
Yeah, flex tape. No, I'm kidding.
Flex seal.
but no,
that's a lot of damage.
I saw this bone in half. No. Whoever that guy is, he's having the time of his life. But no, that's the thing. It's just the game doesn't feel like Metro. It feels like they just cobbled a bunch of ideas together that it's fine, ship it as is. Mm-hmm. And that's never been the case with the Metro games. They've always had time and care put into them. And yeah, they've had moments where the plot was really, stagnant. The first Metro game, your whole objective was reach Polis Station and then destroy the Dark Ones. It was very simple, but at least it was connected. Last Light, the plot was kill the Dark One, then save the last Dark One, then stop a virus from being released in D6, and then protect D6. Like that's decent and good plot progression. This is just it's not that impressive. It's not even a comedy of errors. It's just we move from one place to the other to the other to. That's it. There's very little else that makes me enjoy this game, Even the mutants and the creatures feel lackluster. Like they don't belong to Metro. They look like something out of Fallout. Especially with the demons. They look more humanoid than they did before. It's not my cup of tea. The only mutant I think I actually liked was the quote unquote final boss of the game, which was I think it was a gorilla, actually. I'm not sure. Basically, it didn't have any eyes. Like the skin had grown over, should be. And it could mimic human speech perfectly. And it was just so damn creepy. And my only thought in this whole time was, is this supposed to be a species of a librarian? Is that what's going on?
Maybe.
Yeah. It was so weird and interesting. And that's the only time I thought this is Metro. The rest just kind of felt so lackluster, and I really wish that wasn't the case.
We got 2 topics left, and I have D&D in a few minutes.
Okay, well, I guess we'll just cover the... All right, so...
I already know that the last one is going to be really quick and simple.
Anthem sucks.
That's it.
Yeah, I'd get more into detail. So we'll just go into the Ghost Survivors for Resident Evil 2. It's quick. So basically, Ghost Survivors is, I want to say is it technically the first DLC? Not counting. Not. All right, then it's the first DLC for Resident Evil 2, the remake, and Ghost Survivors is the It sounds exactly as it is set up to be. Ghost Survivors is basically 3 what-if scenarios between 3 characters who died in Resident Evil 2. And this includes the following characters. This includes, what's his name? I feel horrible.
I remember you mentioned, like, wasn't it one of the cops?
Yeah, there was the cop from for this game, at least, the opening of Resident Evil 2. Mm-hmm. Somehow he makes it and manages to escape, I suppose. The next is the gun owner, Ben, I believe. Was it Ben?
I don't remember.
What's his name? God damn it. We don't have time. But basically, the gun owner, Akimbo, he, in his called No, where basically his story goes like, very quick. It goes like, basically, he kills his daughter after she turns into a zombie. And before he brings the shotgun to himself, he hears someone on the radio. It's his friend who's a helicopter pilot, and is telling him, listen, man, I got a helicopter, just come to the front of the police station. I'll get you to safety. Just, come on. And he decides, he can't do anything more for his daughter. So he decides to leave. He might as well live for himself. He then proceeds to get out of his shop, basically fight his way through the whole city until he finally reaches the helicopter and makes it out, and is actually mournful that his daughter met her end in this horrible, horrible city. It's all the gameplay, by the way, is just like with Hawk. It's just you running from point A to point B. Ammunition, health items, and yet it's a sprint, basically.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm not covering the gameplay, really. Anyway, so after there is one thing I do need to cover. Because you're on such a limited item crunch, you will actually, there are zombies who have backpacks. If you kill them, you get whatever's inside the backpack. So it's actually encouraging you to stop and shoot them. Kind of cool. Kind of clever, actually.
Sounds like Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, but the survivor with the med, or the zombie survivor with the med pack.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with more goodies.
We have come full circle.
Yes, we have.
It took so freaking long, but we have come full circle.
Back to Left 4 Dead.
But
the next one is the mayor's Chief Irons kills. In this version, she manages to escape Chief Irons before he can kill her and stuff her, and decides to find her boyfriend, Ben, the reporter, and get to the police station, unlock the cell, and they can be reunited, and then theoretically escape. Ben's the guy who got his head crushed, by the way. So even if she did survive, he did.
Yeah.
He did. He's super dead. Anyway, so that's basically the whole thing. They one actually liked is referred to as Forgotten Soldier, and actually this is I really like because it has the most. It's possible this one might be canon. The guy surviving. Basically, the Forgotten Soldier is one of them. The remake, there are like VHS tapes where Birkin is transforming.
Mm-hmm.
From the point of view of one of the Umbrella mercenaries that kills him.
Yeah.
That's the character you're playing. You're playing the. Basically, what happens in the game proper is that when Birkins mutates, he goes on a rampage. Like in the games proper, Birkin's arm is the first thing to mutate before the rest of him. So he already has the claws. In it, he uses them to kill the Umbrella team, but somehow Hunk survives. In this version as well, that happens, and the Forgotten Soldier is among the few who supposedly dies. In the game, you can actually find his destroyed helmet, which actually I kind of like it, the way it's like ruined. That's character, I think. However, in this version, Yeah. This is why I believe he's alive, because even though his helmet's like destroyed, there's no head, there's no corpse. So it's possible that the helmet was just destroyed. Yeah, a big if, but come on. Anyway, but in the Last Survivor proper, in the Forgotten Soldier, this version, he survives the encounter, recovers his helmet, and gets a sample of G. His objective now is to escape the underground labs with the G sample and report back to Umbrella. Now, I actually like him because he looks like the B version of Hunt, Mr. Tryhard. But the reason why I think this one might be canon, he recovers the G sample that Ada drops before she falls. And at the end of his DLC, what's the word? At the end of his his story, as he's getting the transfer to get him out of the underground labs, the nest, Ada appears behind him and holds him at gunpoint and wants the G sample. Now, in the Umbrella Chronicle, the I guess you could call it the remake before the. Yeah. In that version, Ada recovers from the fall and is heavily bandaged and is injured, but she does have a sample of the G virus. Again, it's never explained how she survives either way, but she has the sample and needs to give it to Wesker in order to escape the city. This is why I think his story might be canon, and he might actually have survived the events of Raccoon City proper, because of the fact that Ada survives the fall in all versions of Resident Evil 2, survives her injuries from the Tyrant. The sample G, she's saved by Wesker, she recovers, and then for the next game she returns. This is why I think he's there. I think he's actually someone who helped Ada escape, but then got killed along the way, and then she made it out without him.
Or he is literally that voiceless dude from the Resident Evil.
I should not. When the Gamers Little Playground did their little like cutscene movie for the Forgotten Soldier, I actually commented, could he be Agent? And then a lot of people began to get on my case. Isn't. It was so
You never
fun.
know.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, actually, I wish I could find the. Actually, can I not like find the comments I wrote like on my YouTube? Like, can I not do that?
You go to history and like there's a setting along the right side that shows like comment history, and you can click on that to look at it.
Okay, let me see if I can find it real quick.
Let me just double check if this is actually true.
History.
Comments. There it is.
Watch history.
It's underneath search history.
Okay, history. My videos, my purchases. Oh no, I guess I don't have it on this phone.
Oh no, it's not going to be on your phone.
Nah, but that's the one I come. Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
Like, if you have YouTube on your phone, is going to be the exact same as YouTube on your computer. So you have to look at it from your computer.
Yeah, I'm just going to go to that video proper, because I don't think they're probably find it in a few seconds. Oh my god, there's 1,000 views. Huh. It's like, it's that kind of shit that you look at it, it's like, oh, the million marks. Like, oh no. Let's see. Yeah, but okay, here it is. So, right, I said the following: could he be the agent of RE6? Question mark. And I had 7 replies to this, and the following goes: Ghost Survivor DLC is not canon, from Judgment XXX. Then Haryu Murti replies to him saying, well, Agent is also not canon, so question mark. Then all Ghost Survivor DLCs is not canon. That's what the team who worked on it are calling them what if. Agent isn't a real person, he's a figment of Ada's. So it confirms my theory that he's all. I was thinking about this ain't canon, but Ada having a teammate in RE6 isn't canon either. So we have our big what if complete here. These what if scenarios of what if these characters live. So I don't really see how he could be Agent when Ada never met this guy and he's dead. Also, it would be a character from RE6 that never mattered. And he's in a game where he gets killed by G in the main story. God. And my favorite one from Thunderwolf 207 says the following. That man gotta be a hero to work nearly 15 years kicking enemies around and wearing a helmet. We're putting it now. We're putting this now. Left for Random Talk Canon. This man has been fighting for 15 years.
Yeah.
He's the hero we don't know about because he's always just hidden in the background. I love how my random comment has basically sparked an entire discussion about whether or not this guy is the agent.
Or whether or not Ada is even sane.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
Oh, that would be quite hilarious. Like, I'm picturing, like, the things she does in RE6 with the partner, and my immediate thought is she just staring into the void, and by some miracle, it's all just working on its own?
It's like, the Forgotten Soldier is pretty much Carmine from Gears of War.
Exactly.
There's always a Carmine in every single game, or every single mission.
And winds up getting killed.
Every single time!
Well, except Clay.
What?
He's the exception to the... Yeah, Clayton is still alive. So suck it. He's broke the curse. Oh, man. But yeah, no, these DLCs are kind of interesting scenario, you know. I do find it funny that there are multiple Mr. X's in these DLCs. Oh, it's so funny. Oh, by the way, I need to say this as well. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I really do not like Mr. X in Resident Evil Remake. I just don't. You know specifically why I don't like him? Basically, when you fight him in what's the word? When you fight him in Resident Evil, you blow him up or you drop him into the body, it burns, right? And then he returns and he's got both arms. And it gives you this idea, it gives you this idea that he's really powerful. Like there's nothing you can do to stop him. But the remake, when he comes back from the magma, it's just, he looks so weak and pathetic. And I mean this specifically by like, you know how he looks when he's blown up, right?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it. Remale. Fuck.
So Clayton is like one of only 2 people of the Carmine family to actually survive.
One of the 3 brothers, yeah.
No, of the family.
Oh yeah, I guess. Let's see. Damn it. The point is that when he's blown, it looks more like his body is trying to recover from its injury, and it's not. It just doesn't look right. It looks like he's become in this form instead of this buff, almost unstoppable monster from hell, and that's what kind of irks me about it. It's just, I don't know how you make his human form absolutely pathetic. The fuck is wrong with you? How do you ruin this? How did you? Slowly getting angry, just sitting there like, oh, my life, so much anger. Oh, actually, here's something interesting. The hat is a version. Go figure. It's actually kind of cool. All right, and that pretty much covers everything for tonight.
Yeah.
We're not
Anthem
forgetting
sucks.
anything, right?
That's it.
Anthem sucks. Yes, we will. Trust me, I'll go into more detail another time.
Yeah, just I have D&D. It's actually going on right now. I also really have to go to the bathroom.
All right. So thank you everyone for tuning in this week.
This has been a very, very weird episode.
It's been a pain in the ass. But thank you all for tuning into this week's episode of Left for Random Talk.
Yeah. It's 40, not 41. That was my bad.
It's fine. And we hope to see you all for next week.
Yeah.
See you then.
Okay, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm just going to say it very simple one time. There's a link down in the description on YouTube, and there's a creeper face down below on Twitch. They both go to the exact same place. They both say support the stream by clicking here. Don't click it. It's not helping us right now. What actually helps us is sharing the links and spreading the word that we're live. Oh, thank you. Drivers now ready to update. We are going to host Lycan Alpha, who is actually playing D&D. I am actually a part of this D&D group. We try and stream this every Thursday. This week was really weird. If you're on YouTube, I'm sorry, this is where we end. So I will see you guys next week, hopefully. Have a good one, everybody.